Hello, my name is Josie Di Sciascio-Andrews, and I was asked by the Oakville Public Library to read some of my work. I am a poet, and I've been a teacher for 40 years for the Halton District School Board. I started writing in 2002 when I returned to University of Toronto to do my master's in Italian literature. And my first collection of poems was entitled Sea Glass, because it was a passion of mine, it still is, to collect sea glass. But I also thought that poetry was very much like little fragments of broken parts of ourselves. So I would like to begin with my first poem in this collection called Summer Dreams, and it is about Oakville. Oakville Pier disappears in fog on hot, muggy mornings, lake and sky blending in gray mist. On the wharf, the lighthouse beckons the eye, red stripe on white. Beyond mounds of wild grass, blue chicory, silver lace. Along the 16th mile's murky waters, sailboats' tall masts sway hypnotic. Scarab, dreaming, Ulysses, names for adventure, hulls to sail away on at high seas, away from torpid waters into blue oceans, new worlds, the sun. The next poem I would like to read to you is from my collection, The Whispers of Stones by Beret Days Press of the Ontario Poetry Society. And it was, all these poems in here are from my walks along the trail and Coronation Park. The poem is entitled Reflection. I have mulled this world over for so long, it has become me, an extension of me, waves of steely blue lake, like blood flow, ebbing in invisible rhythm from arteries to veins, sky-breathing air in lungs, branches, pain and beauty folded in with flowers, sunsets, fear and love of death in one view. This immense blue water and sky, tears and laughter, beginnings, endings, me in the world. Thank you so much for listening, by the way, and this is quite daunting to have to read in front of a camera, which I usually don't do. The next poem I will share with the Oakville Public Library wonderful readership is from Letters from the Singularity, a book published by Inner Words Publishing. And I have chosen to read a poem which sort of resonates with what's happening with this horrible pandemic. It's called Out of Nothing, and it is about how we are comforted by nature and the beauty around us. Out of nothing. Why do I feel most at home on a day like this, when after a night of heavy rain, light smudges morning onto the hard edges of things? It makes me want to ponder mystical philosophies of inner and outer worlds, me absorbing nature within the porous skin of my poetic soul. The whole of sky fluting out of myself like an extension of my brain with its pale aura of clouds folding coils of meaning into the grooves of my own gray matter. On this foggy morning, the chrome yellow center line painted on the wet asphalt unfurls networks of neuronal highways, intersecting through old, familiar, yet forever changing channels of memories. Like my own closed fists, the trees are holding onto their buds tightly in this precarious weather, reticent to yield their essence as they wait for the benevolent warmth of the sun to relent their bloom willingly, reveal their full dendritic growth, spilling clusters of flowers, their pastel hues finally softening the angular harshness of concrete objects. With heavy snowfalls of petals. On a morning like this, everything is on the verge of becoming, Behind the veil of fog, everything exists at once, somewhere, in this landscape of the visible, the unseen, the erased. Bombs exploding out of sight, somewhere in the synapses, are muffled by magnolias, blooming pink like dopamine. Tragedies, too, recede beyond the sunny conflagrations of forsythia. Out of the mist, the sense of things emerges, like an arm with a sword from a cold gray lake. My own pale hand holding the metal wand, retrieved from a stony prison, where with the precise eye of a sculptor, I have learned to chisel catastrophes and chimeras into marble gods. Thank you so much. And the last poem I would like to read is from my latest collection, Sunrise Over Lake Ontario, which is a collection of my poetry and photography with cover art by John Kinsella, who is a prize-winning Canadian artist and poet. The book comes in 3 editions, a large coffee table book, which is available at the Bronte Historical Society and the Oakville Public Library as well. It will be available on Amazon and the Oakville Historical Society. It also comes in a very small edition with text only, without the photography. And I would like to share my last poem, which is also about Oakville, the town that I love and live in. And this is about Urchless, which is a museum on Navy Street, south of Lakeshore, just by the lake and near the pier. Urchless. I love the night at Urchless, when the round white moon lays her light down across the lake, like pearls on blue velvet, luring my gaze away from an empty gazebo, through dark, bare branches beyond the lighthouse on the pier. Blatant moon beckoning me loudly to merge with it. Bold winter moon lighting up austere windows, dark rooms where porcelain dolls sit on ancient beds, forever ghosts of a lost time, with the same white light gleaming in their glassy eyes, shining on their silk garments, their perfect curls and satin ribbons, full moon like perfect love, in memories and dreams. Forgotten children forever cursed to look at time, frozen in place in roles defined. Peaceful, smiling dolls, teach me to be like you. Compose my thoughts to love the stillness, to look at this moon and remain unaffected. Teach me to cope with this life, this chaos, cast my face in calm porcelain, bind my feelings in silk ribbons. Sit me on a bed, straighten me out, make me like you. Take my heart. Thank you for listening. And if you would like to hear more of my poems, or if you would like to look at some of my Poetry Cafe events, you can go to the Oakville Literary Cafe Facebook page, as well as my art and poetry page at www.facebook.com/JDSlit/ and also on Twitter at twitter.com/LAFATABLU. And also, if you would like, there is, what was I missing? Yes, my website. My website is poetryimages.weebly.com. Thank you so much for listening, and happy Poetry Month.